Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to JEDi episode 5. My name is Jimmy, and with me today are Ethan and David. For those of you who tune in to our Facebook Live for the first time, and if you want to know more about us and the name JEDi, do check out our first episode in the video section. I'll be the moderator for this episode, so here's how we're going to run through. Firstly, we will address questions from the previous episode on maximize savings. Then Ethan and David will be having a fireside chat on insurance planning. Then I will cover the bonus section on how to verify if the person you are meeting online or offline is a licensed financial advisor. Then last but not least, we will have a Q&A session. So feel free to post your questions in the comment section below, and we will address them during the Q&A section. Right. So now let's move on to the questions that were raised during the previous episode. I'll let Ethan start the ball rolling. Ethan?
Okay, hi everyone. Just a simple introduction. I'm Ethan, the founder of PolicyWoke. So without further ado, let's look at the questions. First question is, how do you hit the spending criteria for multiplier? So maybe David would want to take this question.
Sure. Well, there are quite a few criteria. So the aim is to hit as high as you can. I think the main thing is that you want to look at your income, because most people, if you rely on one person's income, it might be a bit tough. But because for multiplier, you can have two person having a joint account, and then you credit your salary to this joint account, and you would qualify for the multiplier for both multiplier accounts. So that would be a very important hack. So if you have, say, 2,500 each, so that will be 5,000, and then you hit the 2.2% already. Then you can add on other things like investment, maybe $100 RSP per month, insurance about $10 to $15 per month, and then you have the credit card spend depending on how much you spend. So it can range from maybe 100 to 1,000 per month. And all these, if you put all this in, you should hit 6,000-7,000 easily. If you really want to go for the next tier, like 15,000, I think, it's not impossible. You have to look at your situation. Maybe you have like family members, extended family members. You can try to pool all the spending together. Alternatively, you can also front load your expenses. Maybe you buy some vouchers so that you can use it for the next month instead. So you count the spend now, but you use the credits next month. Another way is to have business. So for me, I have a business where there's business expenses. So I clock quite a few expenses through this business. So that's how I do it.
Okay, how about dividends? Let's say if we buy a lot of stocks and shares, can dividend be counted also?
Yeah, sure. So dividend is considered as income for DBS. So if you have no salary crediting in, you can use dividend as a substitute so that you can qualify for the salary/income plus 1, 2, or 3 categories.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, that's anything else to add?
No, nothing.
Okay, sure. So we'll move on to the second one. There's a comment asking us to do a review on wealth privilege banking benefits. So what do you guys think, Jimmy?
For me, personally, I do not have any banking product with regards to wealth or privilege banking. So I don't have much say on this. What about you, David?
The only reason why I joined wealth banking was because I needed red packets and I needed fresh $2 notes during Chinese New Year. So that was the only reason. But after I joined, then I realized that actually they also have lounges, and you can go and have a free drink, coffee, or tea, fruit juice. So it's a bit of fluff, but it helps if you have nothing better to do. There's some interesting thing is that for a bank like Citibank, they have this Citigold relationship. So if you have a home loan with them, you get slightly better rates. So to me, that would be more meaningful. Yeah.
Okay. Personally, for me, if you want to join privilege banking, you need at least about 200,000, 300,000. So I believe for the masses, they may not have so much. So we are trying to keep it as simple as possible for everyone to benefit from our episodes. So we will try to share more of the mass media first before we move on to such a niche market. So
There's
that's
a interesting part about UOB, right? Is that you only need 75,000. Was it? No, no, 100,000, I think. 100,000. Yeah.
okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we'll probably move on to the main slides already. Okay, today we are going to talk about insurance planning. So just talk about what is insurance. Okay, normally when we think of insurance, what do we think of? Insurance agent, right? Okay, yeah, selling me the insurance or that. Yeah, just someone who wants to earn my money from me. But we should take a look at the whole concept first, is to protect ourselves from financial catastrophe. So let's say anything happens, would there be a situation where you'll be in a financial catastrophe? If yes, then you just buy insurance, as simple as that. The other thing is to have a peace of mind. So when you require that amount, then you can actually have that amount to pay for it. It's just like having yourself at this column already, right? You don't want to, because of financial issues, right, suddenly drop to the lower strata. So it's actually just a protection to keep you at the strata that you're at now. Or even if you are at here, right, it may drop to negative. So that is what we don't want also. Okay, so these are the top insurance to buy. Definitely for even a single, it's best to have at least a small upgrade from the MediShield Life to a maybe basic B1 plan. Okay, this is just to ensure that you have a bit more choices and not be stuck with just a C ward or B2 ward because you got no other choice. Also, for the subsidiaries, right, you actually look at your personal income. So if your personal income is high, you are unlikely to be qualified for all those subsidies that those staying at C or B2 will have. So that's also something to take note of. For CI disability insurance, it's actually the second one that is quite important for a single. So in the event that you have a CI, you will need to have income replacement during the time, which is about 4 to 7 years of recovery. So disability insurance will ensure that you get that. But the problem with disability insurance is if you're not working, then you cannot claim for it. So pre-CI is different in the sense that it's a sum assured. So as long as you pay for it, you get a CI, you get the amount. So this one really dependent on you make sure that you don't have like a period where you don't have a job. Then it will render your disability insurance useless. Where CI will not have, but it doesn't cover everything that disability insurance cover. So there's a balance between what you need. For life and accident, I'll explain further because there'll be a lot more things to talk about. These are actually more optional if you're single. So normally what do we plan for? So maybe David want to start with his insurance philosophy.
Sure. For me, I look at covering my basics, and then I add on from there as liability increases. I'll add on my coverage with term plans. I try not to have too much of my income going to insurance, so I look at about 5 to 15% of my income.
Okay. So for me, I'm the other portion where I believe to cover max first, then I reduce the insurance sums later on. So this is because I just want to ensure that I have enough. Let's say if I kena TPD, so will 1 million be enough for you or not? 4% dividend from me is about 2,000 a month. So that should cover whatever should be required to take care of myself. So what I did was I bought a whole life, a small amount for funeral expenses, and term for the rest. And in this way, if you are doing what I'm doing, the max that you should spend on insurance is 20%. And you should be reducing the amount as you age because your liability will start to drop. And at the end of the day, you do not need a lot of insurance really. Okay, so how to determine your insurance? So these are the actually areas that you will want to look at. Death is actually just to cover all the liabilities that you have and also to cover the dependent needs. So if you have a child, you might want to cover a bit of their expenses until like maybe 18 or 21, whereby they can be more independent. 40 really is actually death plus additional caregiving. So that is where I felt that 1 million is really important because that is my life amount that I can earn. For CI, it's more to cover your income so that your saving goals are still on track. There are some people who think that I don't need 5 years of income. 5 years of expenses is enough. But that is up to you. So I think my saving goals is very important, so I'll cover my income instead. For accident, there's quite a bit of duplicate cover with death. So for me, I always think of 50% of the death and TPD required only. So this will also bring down your insurance cost that you need, and it reduces the amount of duplicate cover that you require also. So we commonly hear about all these ratios, like why do we have 10x your income for death? So this is actually to cap the amount of expenses that you pay for insurance. But if you're using term insurance, it can cover up to 20x, which is near to a 5% dividend, if you look at it in this sense. 5x CI is because, like I mentioned earlier, you need a recovery of about 4 to 7 years. So that is where you may not want to continue working. You may want to focus on recovery only. Although you are not encouraged to work, you can still work, right? Okay, there's something that is very special about this 1% coverage to the premium. So let's say I'm covering 100,000, I should be paying for 1,000. Why do I say that? Okay, if you look at it in another way, at 33 years of 1% at 4% returns, you'll be covering the amount that you are paying for already. So anything more than that, to me, I think is really a big opportunity cost. So your opportunity cost depends on how much you can get from your investments. So it really depends. If you are not investing, then definitely pay less as much as possible. Yeah. But if you know how to invest, then term insurance will be the best. Okay, so this is our personal insurance. So David want to cover his first. You can see, wow, he has a lot.
Okay, so for me, I first started out buying the HNS plans, the hospitalization and surgery. So this was my first insurance plan. And thereafter, I bought a whole life plan and a term plan. So this covers me whole life, and I pay for it for 25 years. After that, I bought a few more term plans. So, for example, the first term plan, my protector term plan from Aviva, I plan to keep it until age 50, 50. So this should be enough for me up to then. And the SAF group term, I also plan to keep it until age 45 or 50. So this is mainly to cover potential income. So I don't plan to claim any of these, but if anything happens, then it'll be good to claim. Yeah. For the Asia Life Secure, that would be my whole life plan. No, sorry, that's not whole life plan. Asia Life Secure is, it's also pay until, pay until age 50, then cover for life. Yeah, so that's my whole life plan. So to me, 150K should be sufficient uh, for the miscellaneous costs in the future. And the ideal CI protector would be my term plan. So this also I covered initially when I first started working. And after that, you see the whole life with ERB. This is a legacy plan which my dad bought for me a long time ago, and I plan to surrender it in 5 years' time. Then the next one is a DPS, which everybody has. So this is to protect the dependents. It's a very small sum, so I just let it run. And this Aviva, my protector decreasing, it's a mortgage insurance which I purchased to mitigate the cost of my mortgage, just in case if anything happens, then the property is taken care of. Yeah. The fire insurance is also for the mortgage, and the Aviva, my Shield, and my Health Plus, these are for the whole HNS plans. And the last one is the Cancer Care Head Start. I bought this purely for the DBS multiplier category. I plan to cancel it after 7 months when my home loan is back, so I get the extra category back. Yeah. So in total, my life coverage is about 2.4 million. My critical illness is about 750K. My early critical illness will be about 100K. I think the aim of insurance is not to claim them, but rather to be prepared against if you have to claim them in the near term. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, David, for your kind insights into your insurance plan. Okay, so mine is a lot more simpler because I plan very simply at the start. So you can see here, okay, this Pru Life Limited Pay, I got it at a very young age. So I'm almost finishing paying about 3 more years. So this is meant for my funeral expenses at the start. Then after that, I have the Pru Term Advantage of 1 million. So this is to let it grow until 99 years old. It's sort of a way to tie my kids to me. But yeah, you can think otherwise. Okay. It's also good because I have a 1 million coverage, which helps to clear off all liabilities and have a bit of money for my children for their education if required and their expenses. And this will ensure that my wife don't have to work so hard also if I'm no longer around. That is one thing that I would want to protect them instead. So for DPS, I would plan to end it at around 45 to 50 years old because of the cost. It's not worth the premiums really. SAF Group Term, I got CI and PA because at my age that I got it, it makes more sense to go for the group term plan first. If you compare the premiums, it's cheaper, and why 300 is because that's about 5 years of income for me. NTUC one, this one is a very special one. If everyone who have NTUC membership, they automatically qualify for this 20,000 insurance. It's a death coverage. And if you pay it for 10 years, they will double it to 40,000. So don't think of NTUC membership as just things to get cash rebate. There's also free insurance inside here. Okay, for me, I actually changed from Prudential to Great Eastern because I did check the table of deductions and the premium. Prudential one is very expensive, and another thing is GE has the same amount of pre and post hospitalization, which I actually take into account. So that's why I did a switch from that point of time. Okay, so now I'm talk about my insurance coverage based on insurer. So we always hear of diversification. So I do diversification across insurance also for the insurance coverage. Okay, this due to the policy protection scheme whereby there's only a guaranteed 500,000 that's covered no matter what. So that's how I actually move around the different insurers. So I try to maintain it below, but Prudential one is really there's a lot of discount to the premiums, so that's why I actually buy it at 1 million instead of 500,000 or splitting it up. Yeah. So this is David's insurance coverage. Maybe you want to talk about it.
Okay, sure. So for me, I'm quite heavy into Aviva because one is the SAF group term, and I also bought a few other terms. So for me, Aviva is quite heavy. But the one that will last me throughout would be the Tokyo Marine, which is about 300K. So that would last me throughout. And Great Eastern, I think this one is mainly the endowment plan and the dependency protection scheme plan. So these two will probably go first. So the only thing that will stick with me is the Tokyo Marine plan.
Okay, thank you, David, for your explanation. Yeah, so now is the bonus sessions where everyone is waiting for. Yeah, Jimmy.
Okay. And thanks, Ethan and David, for the fireside chat. Yeah, just now we share about insurance planning. So now it's my turn to share the bonus section on how to verify if the person you meet, either offline or online, is a licensed financial advisor. Okay. This information is useful if you are meeting the person for the first time, or you have an existing servicing financial advisor and you have not been in contact with him or her for more than 2 years, and you want to have a way to find out if that person is still working as a financial advisor, right? So this information is useful. So in addition, okay, before I move on to the steps on how to verify, let me explain on why the need for verification. Okay, so number one is to build trust between financial advisors and their prospects and their clients. Okay, point number two, avoid meeting unlicensed personnel for financial advice. So because nowadays, because of the phase one of the circuit breaker, the financial advisors are still advised to meet their clients and their prospect online as far as possible. So as a prospect or a client, is more important now that you must know how to verify if the person you meet is licensed. Okay? You don't want to be in a case whereby the person you meet is impersonating a financial advisor and may get you into trouble. Okay, so now let's move on to next slide. Okay, so here are the steps on how to verify. Okay, so firstly, you need to obtain the RNF code from the person. Okay, so next slide. So how does the RNF code, what is the RNF code? So different financial institutions may name the RNF code differently. So next slide. Ethan, you're right. Okay, so different financial institutions use this terminology slightly differently. So if the person give you what they call a FA rep license or representative number or MAS rep number, it all means the same code, which is the RNF code. So this RNF code is actually a unique identifier that uniquely identifies a financial advisor. Okay, in case some of you are not aware. Okay, so next slide. So you must also recognize the format of the RNF code. Okay, so when the person gives you an RNF code, make sure that the code is in the following format: a 12-character string that consists of 2 letters, and then a letter or dash, and then a 9-digit number. Okay, so for example, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so this is one of the valid format. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is an example of how you get the RNF code from a financial advisor. So I would like to thank Cheryl, our friend, for giving us consent to use her RNF code as an example. Okay, so normally for face-to-face meetup, when you get a name card from a financial advisor, you should be able to get the RNF code from the name card. Or in the case of online, he or she will tell you through verbally or through text message. Okay, now I would like to iterate that this is not an endorsement for Cheryl, all right? There are 20,000 financial advisors here in Singapore, and as a prospect and a client, you are free to meet any financial advisor you want to get financial advice. So it doesn't have to be Cheryl. In the event that you need to find someone for financial advice and you really have no one to turn to, and you want to consider Cheryl as a financial advisor for advice, then you let us know, leave a comment, and I will get you to link up with Cheryl. Okay, fair enough. All right, next slide. Okay, so next step is to go to the MAS website, eservices.mas.gov.sg/RR. Okay, if you enter the URL correctly, you should look like this. Next slide. Okay, so if you enter the URL correctly, it will look like this, where you have to enter the RNF code and pass the CAPTCHA. Okay, so after you have entered the RNF code provided and click search, okay, you will get a few possible results. Yeah, so in the first result, if you enter the code and what you get is no name, no current company, then it is likely that the person who provided you the code is not a licensed advisor. All right. Now, next possibility. Okay, if the result you get is a name but no current company, previous slide. Like in the case of Lo Tak Tian example. So this guy is actually our dear Ethan in Facebook Live. Okay, so you will get the name Ethan, the name, but no current company. Okay, there are 2 possible reasons. First possible reason is the person was a financial advisor that has since left the financial industry. Okay, another possible reason is the person from a licensed financial advisor has climbed up the promotion until what you call an agency leader. And for some agency leaders, the financial advice has been taken out of the job scope. Yeah. So if you have a servicing financial advisor who has since promoted to agency leader, and the financial advice is no longer his or her job scope, it's likely that he will assign you with another financial advisor in his or her team to take over and will continue to give you financial advice. Okay, so this is okay, it's fine. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is an example of a licensed and financial advisor verification. So if you search, enter the RNF code or Cheryl, you should get a result of Cheryl's full name and the current company that she's in, which is Prudential. Okay, so this is a good verification that she's licensed. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this example this is Ethan's example. So if you know Ethan's RNF code and you get this kind of results, okay, like the current example, okay, so it shows that he was from AIA until September 2018. Then after that, there's no more other companies. So it shows that he was working in AIA and has since left the industry. So he's no longer a licensed financial advisor. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so this is an example of Cheryl's, which shows that, okay, as you can see, the current company is Prudential, and in the last column, the to column, you can see the word present. So anytime you see current company and then the to column shows is present, this shows that the person as of current, present, is a licensed financial advisor. So when you get this kind of result, means it's good to go. You can continue to engage him or her for financial advice. Okay. So here's a fun fact. This search engine allows you to know how many companies he or she moved to before he or she is in the current company, because no matter how many companies he or she moves to, the RNF code stays the same, stays with the FA. Yep. So in this current example, right, as you can see, he or she was from Great Eastern, and then from Great Eastern he moved to AIA. All right. And then in case you're wondering, if you enter the search results and you happen to have the exact same result as this person, don't worry, because the last time I checked, which is just a few days ago, as of now, he is still a licensed financial advisor. So no worries, you can still engage him or her for financial advice. Okay, so now that I have gone through the 3 steps on how to verify if the person you meet is a licensed financial advisor, you should be able to apply this to help you ensure that the person you meet is qualified to give you financial advice. Okay, so with that, I'd like to thank Ethan and David again for the Fireside chat, and myself for sharing the bonus section. Okay, we hope you find it valuable for your own insurance planning, right? We are now going for the Q&A section. So post your questions in the comment section as we are now addressing the question. So we have one question from Sally. So the question is, okay, she is currently not on any kind of insurance policies. What kind of insurance is essential to get? Ethan, you have any comments?
Okay, in this case, I'll actually go back to the slides that I actually shared before. Okay, so let's look at the top insurance to buy at this stage. So like I said, for the essential one, definitely hospitalization no matter what. So at least when you're at this level, right, you do not fall below it because of hospitalization bills. So that is the base defense for it, for everything. So that is what I think of as is the most essential that you need. So what about you, David?
Hospitalization is very important. Personal accident, I think, is also very important. I think you cannot predict when accidents can happen, so those are good to buy. If you're going out traveling, then you should get travel insurance. These are very low cost products and is generally very affordable. Then let's say if you are working for a company, you have already saved up some emergency funds. You want to protect your potential income. You should consider looking at a whole life plan and also a term plan. I think whole life plan, personally, I didn't want to cover too much, but this one really depends on your family settings. For term plan, I think it's very important because you want to maximize your coverage to make sure that you are well covered. Yeah.
Yeah. What about Jimmy? What about for yourself?
Personally, I feel that hospitalization plan is almost it's a must-have, because no one can no one can guarantee that we will stay healthy, or no one can guarantee that we will be accident-free for 20 years, 40 years, 60 years. No one can guarantee that. So hospitalization plan is a must-have plan to protect you against your ability to pay for your hospitalization bill in the event of hospitalization. Yeah. So that's the only one that I would like to add on. The rest pretty much both of you covered already. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Jimmy. Yeah. So I actually did a highlight over here. So just to ensure that everyone understands, this is actually the most essential that all three of us really agree upon. So are there any other questions now?
All right. Is there any other questions? Looks like there is no more questions. Hold on. Any more questions? Okay, looks like there's no more questions. So since there are no more questions, we have come to the end of this episode. Thank you for tuning in and all the questions you have for us. Feel free to post more questions in the comment sections on insurance planning and how to verify the verification on how to verify if the person you meet online is a licensed financial advisor, right? So you can still post questions and we'll address them during the next episode. So speaking of the next episode, join us next Friday, 5 p.m. for JEDi episode 6. JEDi episode 6 on insurance and investments. If you like our content and be notified for future episodes, do like our page on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this post. If you want to know more about those pre-owned insurance policies that we have for sales that you want to buy over, do join us on our Telegram channel. Use a QR scanner to scan the QR code, and you should be able to get the link to join us on Telegram. Alternatively, from the Telegram app, you search for the word PolicyWoke, our name, and you should be able to find us on Telegram. All right. So with all of that, we hope to see you next Friday for our next episode. And
may the finances be with you.
Be with you. All right. Goodbye.